my, we are back with our £1,700 5-cylinder Alfa Romeo Brera, and today we're going for power. What time is it?
Alpha time!
Yes! The aim for today is to get more grunt out of this 5-cylinder turbo than the 3.2 V6, and for that, we're gonna need Hacker JP. JP, what have you actually done to the car? I know it's called a stage 1 tune. What does that actually mean?
In layman's terms, just dump more fuel, dump more air, bigger bangs, more power.
Okay, sounds good to me. And was this quite easy to do that on?
Not too bad. I mean, before we had to check just to make sure, because some ECUs we have to open up and basically put pins on to get into a boot mode so you can actually get to the mapping table. But luckily, this one we didn't need to.
Alpha just opens the door
to
you.
Yeah,
come
perfectly
on in.
fine. Yeah, go, just map, it's all good. So yeah, straight pinned in, awesome. You know, took it back up, modified, and then wrote the new file straight on.
So my aim is for this car to have more grunt. I want it in a straight line to outdo the 3.2 V6. Do you think through your coding that's now going to happen?
Yes, should be. Loads more.
That didn't sound very confident, but I mean, it's a Brera, so.
Yeah, exactly. It depends, you know, how good the turbo is. A turbo in good condition, stuff like that. It might be now that I've just turned it up, you might just get a nice cloud of smoke and a nice pop.
By the end of today, this car will have been on a dyno.
Yes.
So I guess we'll find out whether you've been good or been bad.
Well, we can always modify it again if we need to.
Okay. Stage 4, why not?
Oh yeah, why not? Yeah, just unlock the boost, just full boost.
800 horsepower front-wheel drive build.
Yes, with double the torque.
Deal?
Done.
Good. While we've been away, the guys at Autosportivo have cracked on with some jobs on the Alfa. The main one being the nightmare from last time. Those cracked suspension parts are now replaced, back in the car, and those BC coilovers are sitting nice and true now. On top of that, the car came with a spare water pump and a spare timing belt, which generally means you should probably replace those because the previous owner was about to do them. This is the old timing belt, and to be fair, it's in very good condition. I would say it had only been changed a couple of years ago, but it's always worth doing anyway. And then this is the water pump. Again, Ant has told me that this is actually in pretty good nick. It was not on the way out, the car wouldn't have gone pop. But again, one of these maintenance things with a new car that's just worth doing. Hello, future Mike here. The Alfa is back home safe with me now, but it didn't have put up a fight, which you'll see a bit later. Today's video is sponsored by Carly, which is an OBD plugin that's super easy to use and tells you so much about your car. You just plug it into your OBD2 port, connect up via Bluetooth on your phone, and you're in. This very fancy BMW M2 belongs to my colleague Nick, and it's a 2019 car, so it should be completely flawless when we plug this baby in. Zero issues. Let's see what she has to say. So we are all connected up. Let's go into diagnostics and then check for issues. Scanning the car, 2%. I'm not expecting many on this. So Carly is chatting to all the computers around the car right now, sussing out if there's any issues, and on cue, 4 issues currently found. I know what Nick's like, he's not going to be happy about that. Unbelievably, the health status of this 2019 M2 has come back as very bad. 63 issues found. I think that's a record for us. Let's have a quick look. Engine, 2 issues. Power management, battery startability, upper threshold is undershot. What's really cool is, although the immediate description might seem complicated, on Carly you can then go enter Smart Mechanic and it will tell you what it thinks is wrong and how to fix it. And what's really great, you can just go on Carly and do clear issues, and then you can check back in 2 to 3 days to see which ones have stayed around and which ones have just been cycled out. Along with health checks, you can jump in and do some basic coding as well. For example, Nick doesn't like his start-stop on that button there. So instead, you can jump into Carly and disable the start-stop so your engine stays running the whole time. That beautiful twin-turbo straight 6 up front. By having one of these adapters, you can keep on top of issues that could quite easily cause your car to be undrivable. Vehicle downtime can suck, stopping you getting to work, going for a food shop, taking your dog to the beach. You can be scuppered if your vehicle flags a fault and you have to book in workshop time to diagnose the issue. But a Carly adapter can chat to the computers in the car and tell you what's what. Click the link in the description below and use the discount code DRIVETRIBE24 to get 15% off your Carly adapter. And thank you to Carly for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to that troublesome Brera. Do you have interns in here?
We do now. Hey! Bravo, bravo,
Well done.
bravo.
The reason I wanted to change the EGR valve was because this car stank, and one of the ways that can happen is it just gets completely clogged up. Is that, I mean, that looks pretty black and nasty to me, but could that be the smell?
It certainly could, yeah. Ooh, yeah, it certainly smells cooked. Yeah,
Yeah, that to be
could
fair,
cause-
that is the smell that you get in the interior.
But then, yeah, if you compare it to the new one,
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys can see that it's very coked up. So
But how, being a diesel, how quickly does this occur? Are we talking like a couple of years and it goes like that, or is this like
it's a bit of a
decades?
piece of string question, isn't it? It's like, depends how you drive, where you drive. If you're driving a lot in traffic and stuff, that will build up quicker. If you're doing
Sure.
motorway miles, it should blow that through, if that makes sense.
So as a diesel, you kind of want to like clear it out, almost clear its throat
you
every
need to
time you
give them
drive it.
beans. You need to give them beans, and that stops EGR problems, and it stops DPF problems. It reduces EGR problems, reduces DPF problems if you give them beans, give them good motorway miles. People that drive diesels around town every day, stop-start, is not healthy for them.
What does your tattoo mean?
It means searching for happiness, which doesn't include anything to do with alphas.
Have you found it? Comment down below, guys. Have you found your happiness? Maybe while watching this video, you found your happiness.
Well,
Tell
once-
us, we want to know.
Once I've found it, I have to change the tattoo, don't I?
Or just to,
Found my happiness.
Found.
Just happy.
yeah, happy, yeah. It'll just be that final.
Happy
There you
now.
go. Are we going to be Ryobiing today?
Yeah, it was
You got some heat in the last video about your,
I know. Do you
your
know what?
manufacturer of choice.
To all the Ryobi haters.
Oh,
do
here
you-
he goes.
Do you know why I use Ryobi?
Why do you use Ryobi, Maxwell?
Because I like Ryobi.
That's it.
That's the only
You just
reason.
like the name.
I just like the tool.
You
I
want to be
like
able to
it.
tell people I use Ryobi.
I like it. I mean,
Today's video is not sponsored by Ryobi. I don't like that my gear knob twizzles. That's going to be annoying. With the EGR valve successfully fitted and no engine lights showing, it was time to fit the new braided brake lines. As usual, Alfa haven't made even bleeding the brakes an easy process. Look at that.
good progress. From crusty old rubber hose to fancy braided. Which
And layman terms, why is this better than that?
well, first of all, durability. They last a lot longer. They're a lot more strong. They're a lot stronger because they got steel braiding. Secondly, because they're braided, they hold pressure better because rubber expands.
So that will bulge
Yeah, it
under
will
heavy
bulge.
braking.
That's right. Whereas the braided line prevents the bulging, so you should get a bit of a more positive and consistent brake pedal. I'm going to give it a tap with a hammer. Is this the right hammer to use, Mike? Are we allowed
Well,
to use a claw hammer?
Is that the
Standard?
same one I also...
I think it's the one we were told off about using because apparently mechanics aren't allowed to use claw hammers.
You also just like, subframes are just so sensitive. You have to
Yeah.
be really careful.
When you're smashing the rust out, you need to use a rust smashing hammer. I'm not sure which one that is in my collection of hammers, but yeah.
I give you permission to use this hammer, no matter
Alright.
what the comments say.
Okay. Don't hate on me, world. I'm just gonna give it a tap. I'm using it sideways, that's even worse, isn't it?
Some stuff is fine to be sketchy about. Brake lines, not so much. Will I make it home tonight? The whole point in this shoot is that we get some good power going, but then I take it home with me and we do some other stuff back in Bath.
It looked like it.
I'm just waiting for my first big braking event on the M4, and then RIP Mike Fernie.
It'll be a good.
R.I.P. to the girl I used to be.
Yes.
Yes! There are two things that need to go on the front of the car. One is these little bits of trim that are missing. They should be these silver streaks. The other one, which Maxwell is removing right now, is the fog light. It's been smashed and we've got a brand new sparkly one. Alpha time.
Alpha time!
Yeah, this one looks shit.
It does look absolute garbage now. What are we gonna?
Fucking
Why
hell.
didn't you buy two?
Have you got a cracking little polisher that will make that one come up?
I don't think you can polish that turd.
I didn't think about that. You think this car can't put up even more of a fight, but we're just trying to replace the air filter, and trying to get to it is being an absolute disaster. Bolts seized, they're right down the bottom, so water and salt just get straight onto them and we're having to drill them out. Any other car, this is literally a 2-minute job.
It's probably the easiest job you can do on any car.
And we've got a lovely
Service-wise.
fresh K&N to go in it. Okay, well, time check.
Should we just take it off and just have no?
It's nearly
filter?
1 o'clock. Dyno is
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Okay.
Right.
2 hours to change an air filter
You've got plenty of time.
And bleed.
and bleed the brakes. Yes, let's do that. I'm signing off, damaging, to then attempt to repair.
It's all right.
Hey.
You're too good.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. Mike,
Yeah.
got your air filter out.
Oh my. What's happened there?
May or may not have got slightly wet.
Oh God, it's all mouldy as well. So is that just water ingress up into there?
I'd imagine so, and I can probably imagine that every time it's gone for a service, the people doing the service may have tried to take the air filter box off and it's gone, yeah, it's done.
Oh wow, so it's just so difficult to do, they've just left it
Yeah,
in
it
there.
looks like it's probably the original.
That's been there a long time.
That's
for sure.
the worst thing. Well, actually, we've got the brand new ones down here. Yeah, 140,000 mile air filter. This is a brand new OEM one, but what we're going to do is put in an uprated K&N job. More power, sound great, especially with the turbo. Let's whack this in. That is the worst air filter I've ever seen. Once the air filter was back in and the housing was patched and reattached, I left the lads to bleed the brakes. I'm gonna go insure this car. Good luck with the bleeding. I know it's super easy on Breras.
Here we go again.
Down.
With all the final jobs done and dusted, we headed to the dyno to see if we had reached our goal, more grunt than the V6. Let's see what stage 1 means in an Alfa Romeo Brera. So, the magic numbers. This is an early Brera, so it should be putting out 200 horsepower stock, but it is 15 odd years old, so a few of those will have escaped the pen. The V6 from factory puts out 260. So with this tune, the filter, everything we've got going on, I wonder where we're gonna come in. I generally have a pretty good time at dynos. I've now jinxed that, but I'm gonna say it's gonna come in at 235, 240. Let's hear from the Autosportivo guys to hear what they think this car is gonna be putting out.
229.
236.
Around 230.
It's not looking good. It's like a diesel train, this thing. Holy crap. Francis Bourgeois would frickin' love this car. Our first run did not go as planned, only hitting 190 brake horsepower.
So it could be one of two things. But the first things I'll always check is to see if the reset's working, or normally I would check to see what the actuator's doing, because the actuator could be fluctuating like that, which is letting off boost and stuff like that. So
JP disconnected the recirculation valve and we gave it another go. Come on! Come on! That was a mistake. One thing we don't know is how long this car has sat for before we bought it. It could have been up to like 5 years. So the amount of smoke coming out the back of it, I think that it's just coughing up all this crap, getting rid of all the sludge from over the years. The peak number so far is 200 horsepower. So what we've done through that stage 1 and EGR and filter is get it back to where it was when it was brand new. Maybe that should be a success, because there's no way beforehand it was making the stock figure. The V6 might be a little out of reach. In power terms, not in torque terms.
I think that's the key. I think that's where you're losing power.
So Maxwell found this in the car. What even is that?
Apparently, according to the internet, to eBay, this will give you, on any car in the world that has OBD2, up to 20% horsepower increase.
Have a look.
And torque, and 20% efficiency.
Nitro OBD2. Is this what we're missing?
This is what we're missing.
The previous owner genuinely bought this and plugged it in.
Yeah.
And it's probably just an LED, isn't it?
Well, it costs £7.
£7.
£7.
If this gets me past the V6, it's the best £7 I will ever have spent.
Why do people bother dynoing and mapping cars? When
Shall we just plug it in?
I think we should plug it in.
You do the honours.
Shall we plug it in and see what it makes?
Just do it.
Let's do it.
So we're working our way through the things that could possibly be holding this tune back, and you can actually see that is the remnants of that horrific air filter we took out of it. If that's been in there for 140,000 miles, throughout that time it's just been tossing stuff at our MAF sensor, which is in there. Hopefully, if we get an airline in there and blow it all out, that's as far as it's got. There's a couple of meshes in there that stop things getting to the MAF, but the chances are, oh dear, the chances are this car needs a new MAF.
that's the map sensor, and
Whoa! That is cakeage.
that is.
Will that clean up okay?
Little
Is
bit
that airline? We'll get rid of
We'll
that?
try,
God, that is
but that could be due a
sludgy.
new one.
Can I get that off of my pinky? Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I dare you to suck on that. How much?
More than you can afford, pal.
We are officially making more than stock, and the lads are saying it's probably the MAF sensor that's just been through the wars. So a fresh one of them, they should be singing, but that's not going to happen today. And the numbers are in. Horsepower 202, torque 470 Newton meters. So it's making 2 horsepower more than stock, but about 40 off what stage 1 should be, and 60 off the V6. So work to do there. It should be a simple fix with those sensors, fingers crossed. Torque though, being a diesel, 70 Newton meters more than stock and 150 more than the V6. We will be putting our 5-cylinder car up against a V6 in a challenge in a future video, so stay tuned for that. I still reckon we've made this thing a much, much better driver's car with all these other mods. If you'd like to watch the previous 2 episodes with our Brera, click the videos here, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I've been Mike, and don't forget to subscribe to DRIVETRIBE.